Mate, fucking hell, 10 episodes.
Who'd
have thought that?
It's gone quick, enjoying it.
I didn't think, well, it was arguable whether we'd get past 1, because I thought there's a high chance we get shut down here. I say something that pisses someone off, they report the show, and boom, well, that's Mochas, done and dusted in 1 episode. But 10 episodes, which is a bit of a celebration, but I don't think we're done yet, are we?
No, not even close, I
think we joked about global domination, but...
Challenging the Joe Rogan experience.
Yeah, fuck Joe. I think I'd like to keep pushing out. I definitely think there's plenty to talk about. There's plenty people want us to talk about. I get messages a lot of time about discuss this, and a lot of it's shit because a lot of people don't know what they're on about. You know, I'll do the thinking, you just do the listening. but I think there's plenty to talk about, and I think there'll be plenty more. Definitely another 20 at least.
Yeah.
But no, I never thought we'd have got to 10 episodes, and I've had not that many complaints. To be fair, I've had a couple.
Yeah. Always going to happen though, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not, like I say, I'm not for everyone, but I'm at ease with that. I think the majority of it's good, and that's the main thing. You know, we do this anyway, but it is important that people like it.
Just going to say, we have these conversations anyway, so if it goes another 20 or another 100 or ends now.
Yeah, no, and the main thing throughout the time doing it, I'm always having a good time. I'm never like, fucking hell, another one of these to grind out, you know. I'm having a good time doing them, so yeah, fucking 10 episodes, plenty more to come, and with that, there's a bit of a giveaway coming up soon.
Nice. Which
will be, which the people at home, the fans, family, friends, you know, you can all enter it, you can all be involved, and trust me, it's a belter. But no, we'll get into it. Drug culture, massive one, especially at the minute. Where I want to sort of start with it is, we spoke about earlier, when I was 18, drugs was around, but it wasn't that acceptable. I knew people did drugs.
Like socially acceptable.
Yeah, I knew people did drugs, but it was still a bit like, don't tell anyone I'm doing drugs, or if I'm going to do drugs, let's do it in this little secret
toilet.
Yeah, like hiding area where, won't name any names because snitches get stitches. However, I was out on Prinny Avenue yesterday. A girl I've never met before comes over with a friend. Out comes a bag of what I thought was detergent. Out comes a house key, and she's having a nose beer. Yeah. And I've never met her.
In plain sight.
Just there having a go on it, and I'm not bothered. Like, so if you want to have a go on that, you do that. It's not for me, but I just couldn't really believe that. Like, no one. It doesn't seem like anyone gives a shit that sat. You know what I'm saying? Having a bit of nose candy with a guy that they've just met 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So I think from my perspective, it's definitely more lenient. I think in society that we do drugs. It's not a big of a deal.
I don't think it has to be a big deal though. I mean, it's a mega personal thing. Like, whether is it going to be a problem for you? Do you know what I mean? It's not like is it going to be a problem if you take drugs? Can you still take drugs on a Saturday night and then go to work on a Monday morning?
Yeah.
Do you mean the issue becomes is when you can't do that?
It's slippery slope. I think there's a stigma that comes with it though. I don't know where it's come from, but I don't know. Maybe it's me because I'm not a drug taker, drug abuser. There's a stigma outside of
the juice, the steroids.
Shut up, idiot. If I took roids, I'd want my money back. Put it that way. But I think there's a stigma that comes with taking drugs that it's dirty or it's for bad people, or do you know what I mean? It's not a stigma that goes like it's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Or no, I've got that wrong because a lot of people think it's a good thing to do.
No, but I know what you're saying, but it's the same as anything. I mean, going out and drinking is not good for you. But is it going to be a problem? Can you go out and take drugs and it not be an issue for you? For most people, it's not a problem. And I don't personally. I'm happy to say I don't see why it's an issue. If you go out, I'm not forcing it down. You're not forcing it down anyone's throat. You're not causing havoc. But I don't see the issue with it. People will argue till they're blue in the face that it's a problem. I don't think it's a problem.
Do you not think though, and we touched on it in a previous episode, it goes hand in hand with the rise of mental health cases that we're having at the minute? Because I can't, out of respect, because loss of life on any level is bad, but out of respect for people's families and friends, I can't name names, but the amount of times you hear of someone dying in this area, and you were a lovely lad, a lovely girl, such a great this, such a great that, and I'm thinking, what's gone on then?
Yeah.
What's happened? And you find out that they've had a bad drug problem. And I'm thinking, does it go hand in hand with this shit that people are abusing? Like, you can abuse anything. Too many apples will make your teeth fall out.
But that's a different conversation. Are you asking, are drugs a problem, or like, is drugs a problem for people to take on a night out? Is it more socially acceptable? Or should people with a drug problem stop taking drugs? It's two different conversations. You know, for me, if drugs are not going to be a problem, I see no problem in people taking drugs when they want.
Do you think though it's a bit more? It's kind of off the boil of it, but do you know, like all the mad shootings and that they have in America? I think it's real simple that if you didn't have gun stalls on every corner of the street, like we have a news agent, it's not easy to get your hands on guns. Therefore, there wouldn't be as much cases because it's not like, I'm having a bad day, I'm just going to get my assault rifle out and just start letting off some rounds. I think if you are having a bad day, and it's a lot harder to get drugs, because I think drugs are very accessible.
Yes, it's super
accessible. I think it's so accessible now where it's almost, like I said, it doesn't even seem, again, not that it should be, because, you know, I'm not saying it should be or it shouldn't be, but they're so accessible that, like, it goes hand in hand with, oh, I'm off out on Tuesday night, I'm going to get a bag in. It's no longer like for a birthday or a big event or a festival or a holiday. It's just kind of like a way of life now, it seems for me, but I don't take them, so maybe I'm thinking it's a lot bigger problem than it actually is.
Well, yeah, I mean, first and foremost, you've got, even if you take drugs, you get into drugs or say for drugs, or you take drugs or don't take drugs, you've got to firstly say drugs make you feel good. You got for a beer because you like the feeling of getting drunk. So in the same breath is that you might take drugs because ultimately drugs make you feel good.
How would you know?
Oh, fuck.
What?
Yeah,
this is a real chat.
No, listen.
You can lie if you want. Well, exposure.
I've taken drugs in the past, and I will take drugs in the future. I will. But again, it's never going to be a problem for me.
Right. Okay.
I've done it in the past. I will do it in the future. It's not a problem for me. I don't do it
when we say drugs, like, do you want to shed any light on it? What we're talking?
So just like recreational. So do you know if I go to, because I'm really into my like techno music, so I go to festivals and stuff. So like pills and stuff like that. Yeah. Again, it's like I don't go out on a Tuesday night and think I need to get a bag in. It's just not for me. But again, it's never going to be a problem for me. I can take it or leave it. Yeah. So when I go to a festival, some people like try to, like, they don't like it, they think, oh, I shouldn't really do that. I'm happy to say, yeah, I'll do that because I'm doing well in my job, I'm making good money, I'm a good athlete, I train hard, I work hard. So fuck if I go out to a festival once every 6 months and I get twisted up. I'd
have to agree with you, but I think, and again it is case dependent, but I think not everyone, and I guess it's not the drugs problem that these people are idiots, but I think it's a very slippery slope of getting into drugs every other weekend, and then all of a sudden you're not functioning properly, you maybe lose your job, you've still got a drug habit. I think it's a slippery slope.
I think you've got to be very self-aware as well.
That's a good word.
If you know you've got an addictive personality, if you know every time I go to the fucking buckets, I go through 500 quid. Yeah. Every time if I pick up a cigarette, I start smoking. If you know you've got a problem, you've got to be very self-aware that this could be the issue. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because even though drugs can be great, at the same time they can absolutely ruin someone's life. Yeah. And no drugs that fun where I think I'm going to take that risk of it. It could ruin my life, but I'm going to take the risk. If I knew it was a problem for me, I wouldn't take that risk.
So could you take it or leave drugs, or would you say?
Yeah, I could take it or leave it. I mean, and that's why I don't. If I go to an event, I'm not like mega. Oh, I'm not going to tell anyone I'm doing this because.
Are you on drugs now? Some people might be watching, I don't know. But I mean, I'm thinking though, like, another thing I want to pitch to you, right? And this has always baffled me.
Why did you laugh so hard at that as well? Why are you laughing so hard?
I didn't know you could hear me. But do you know what? Are you chewing gum and drinking coffee at the same time?
No, it's actually water.
Oh, is it?
Because I've already had a coffee, so I shoot myself.
Prop coffee.
Yeah, it's prop coffee.
Alright.
Trade secret.
I was about to call you out on it, mate, after your little...
He does spit take as well when the camera's off it.
No, that's water because I've had a coffee and it just opens me up. I'll be shitting everywhere, so fuck it. So I'm on water for this one. But going back to that, one thing I wanted to ask you about drugs, which is one thing that's always baffled me, is it don't come with ingredients or even a fucking receipt or someone credible that says, you know what, this is fucking healthy.
What? Drug dealers are trustworthy?
I would say not. Especially some of the ones I've seen. But it always baffles me that people ingest, inhale, inject, however fucking other ways you take it, a random substance. And I hear horror stories about how it's made, or how it's initially made, and then what Darren off East Hull's done to it before it gets up your snout. And I would think it's crazy how people don't seem to really care about that. Like the pros outweigh the cons in terms like I don't give a fuck what this is, just get it up my nose now.
Well, I think like most people, if they like sell drugs or whatever, they're not looking to hurt anyone. They whatever they after making money, whatever they're doing it for, they're not there to hurt someone. They're not trying to hurt someone. So there's a good chance, and I always think about the numbers, the amount of people that take drugs on a daily basis, and I'm not saying like addicts because they might die from overdose and stuff like that, but the amount of people that just drop dead from like because it's a bad batch. I think the statistics are probably fairly low, and like I said, people aren't out there thinking people are gonna take this and they're gonna die. Most people are not looking to do that to you, so it's just a risk you take, same as anything, and it's always worth it.
No, but do you know what I mean? It's like and I always use this as a example or analogy. If I was to head down the street with one of these chewies in my bare hand, no wrapper, no nothing, and I said, "You want to go on this, mate?" You'd probably say no, because you've probably had that in your pocket all week, or you've just found it off the floor. I'm not going to chew that. But then these people will, like I say, eat, sniff, inject random shit with no ingredients, don't know where the fuck it's come from. That's what I don't understand.
What's the pros of having a chew off your pocket? My breath might smell a bit better for 10 minutes.
Right.
The pros of going out and going to an event and doing whatever you're going to do is far greater than having minty fresh breath.
Yeah, possibly.
Possibly, definitely.
Right, well I wouldn't know, but then there's got to be some negatives to drugs, surely, because then why aren't we all at it?
No, 100%. There is negatives, and it's not like you have to take drugs to enjoy yourself anymore.
Have you felt that though? Because your personality is pretty low at times. Have you felt you need an upper? Is this what I'm wondering? Because I get on with you. I think you switched on, nice guy, pretty funny. You know, knows how to have a good time. I'm not questioning, but thinking why does Luke need drugs? Like myself, I don't need drugs because I have them in town.
Do you know the only people that ever say this is people that's never taken drugs? It's just a Maggie excuse. Like,
you reckon?
It is like, I don't need to take drugs to enjoy that music. No, you don't. But have you tried them yet? No. Well, try them first and then say that. Because, like I said, the conversation, whether you agree with it or not, the conversation has to be, drugs do make you feel good. That's the end of it. They do. So whether you agree with it or not, or saying, you know, that music's shit unless you've taken drugs, or like you have to take drugs to enjoy yourself. No, but what's the issue with taking them and enjoying yourself a lot more?
But they also make you feel bad.
The next day.
Yeah.
Do you get hangovers when you drink?
Yeah. But I've seen, again, I can't mention names, but I've seen people the next day off drugs and fucking previously on AMC's The Walking Dead. I think fuck that. Like you look like you were having a mint time last night, but now you look like death warmed up. And I think like
small price to pay, I'd say.
I won't say small because I've seen some of these lads and I think fuck that. Like that's like I get it, the dizzy heights, but they come with dizzy lows, and I think like I'm not willing to pay the dizzy lows. So I don't want, you know, the way like I don't gamble big.
Yeah,
I'll never win big, but I'll never lose big because I don't gamble big. It's kind of like that. I will never see them heights or the way you're listening to that music or seeing the light show in here. I'll never see that, but I'll never feel like you feel the next day.
Well, that's why I think it's important to like, if it's a weekend thing, then dizzy lows are coming thick and fast all the time.
Yeah.
Where if it's just like
A one-off,
like twice in a year,
pay,
3 times a year, whatever it is, I think it's a small price to pay. As long as you can function the day after, or maybe not the day after, but the day after that. I don't see why it's such an issue. There's this real big like finger pointing that people that do drugs are like not as good as someone else, but drugs can be enjoyed and not be a problem for most people. And why can't that be the conversation?
So on that there, are you sitting along, because I think drugs are illegal for the right reason. The only one I kind of agree with being legal is cannabis, because it's just a fucking plant.
Yep.
If I put some nettles in my kettle, boil it up, drink it, I get off my tits. Like, I don't get how you can make that illegal when it just grows.
Well, again, it's a different conversation. We was talking about like recreational, having a laugh at a music event. Now, if we're going on to like serious drug abusers and they're like in a bad way with it, then I don't think drugs should be legalised, but decriminalised definitely. Because it's obviously 2 different things. Decriminalised means you can't just go buy it off the street, but if you are caught with it, we're not going to prosecute you, we're going to try to help you. Because 99% of drug addicts don't want to be drug addicts anymore, they wish you could get clean. Now it's 2 different conversations, recreational drugs that we was talking about, and a hard drug abuser that's suffering with an illness. And it's one of them where, like, I think decriminalisation of drugs could be like massively helpful. I read a book about it on it's called Good Cop Bad War, and it's a real story about a bloke that went. It's like a story about his life, and he used to go undercover, and he said at the end of it might make him really unpopular, but the whole time he spent undercover, he never busted any drugs dealers. He spent his whole time imprisoning people that just needed help from the system.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Do you know what I mean? And like, I think they're doing it, might be Sweden maybe, where like heroin users can go to a facility and safely take heroin that's been tested with clean needles, and at the same time they've got to get like attend treatment and get help, and it's working really well because most people don't want to be drug addicts. They just they can't help it. So I think
so with that, do you think when we said about legalising and decriminalising, you're sitting on the side of like for drugs? If someone came to you and said, I'm thinking I'm going to go at drugs, I'm going to go and take some drugs here, would you say, yeah, do you know what, get stuck in? Or would you say, I don't, because I would say no, I'd just say don't do drugs.
I'd say,
but obviously I'm biased because I don't do drugs.
Yeah, I'd openly say there's no problem with trying it.
So you don't think drugs are for mugs?
Pardon?
You don't think drugs are for mugs?
I think there can be a problem. I also think they can be enjoyed fine. If someone said to me, I'm going to start taking drugs, I say, what do you mean you're going to start taking drugs? Are you going to go to an event and try it and see what you like, or are you going to sit at home on a Tuesday night by yourself and just rack up lines? And that's 2 different things. I think if someone said to me, because like my mum and dad said when I was a kid, that as long as it's like, never said to me, it's alright to do drugs. But I mean, I don't know if your mum has as well, but like, if you're ever going to try something, Luke, like let us know, and do you know what I mean? Like it's about like growing up.
I won't give in that. This is probably the reason I've never taken drugs, because I knew that there would be no understanding of that.
No.
It would be a real sobering beatdown.
Yeah.
Which no drugs would numb the pain. So I've always scrapped them, and that's real. When people year 9, year 10 were getting pissed up on the field and that, experimenting maybe, negative.
So again, for me, that was never a thing for me. Like, I don't like saying this, it sounds like I'm an avid drug taker, but I took drugs once when I was 23 for the first time. I'm nearly an adult then. I tried it. It was alright. I might do it again, I might not, I can take it or leave it. And that's my experience with it.
I ain't got any experiences with it, and that's why I sort of think like, if I look back, I've done Napa, Amsterdam, 4 tours of Ibiza with the boys. I've been on these places with the lads, and I've never taken drugs, and these are like some hard sort of, not hard. These are like very drug. Like Ibiza especially.
You are the anomaly if you're not taking drugs in every year.
Yeah.
Most people are.
Yeah, but I've never felt like, do you know what? If I'd have took drugs that time, it'd have been mint.
But that's because you've never have. And the only people I've ever spoke to are against it. Are people that's never tried it.
I'm not against it. I just don't really believe it's going to improve my quality of time there. I just like every time I've gone, I've had a really fucking good time.
No,
I've gone back, right?
I believe you have, yeah.
But I've never once thought, you know what? This time is the time where I'm going to go to the next level.
But again, it'll never be a problem for you. I believe that if you took drugs once, you would not turn into a drug addict.
But so you've seen me on the piss.
Why can't you go, try it, and then make the decision? It's like someone that goes, do you fancy a bit of this? Oh, I don't like tuna. Oh, have you ever tried it? Nah. Then what you on about then? What you on about if you never? Do you know what I mean?
I do think there's a high possibility I like it, and that's probably
maybe.
Sensible,
but yeah, why not?
Yeah, but that's probably maybe fucking. If I'm honest, that's a worry that if I did try it and I became one of them people, because I think it is a slippery slope. That simple. If you're having a mint time and you want that again and again. And by the time you know it, it is Tuesday evening in Dog and Duck, and you're having a fucking nose beer. Yeah. And I think you're thinking, how have I fucking got here?
Yeah.
And it all started with Luke Fisher putting some powder in, and I'm asleep in a beef, and it all started there because I felt mint. Thanks for that wake up call, Luke. Brilliant. Yeah. And then I'm saying, Luke, you got any spare money? But I think it is a slippery slope, and I think you're right. Certain personalities.
You've got to be self-aware, yeah.
I think I am very self-aware, and I like my life at the minute, and I wouldn't want to fuck it up. And also there's an air of, I said elitism or my ego, whatever. But I also like to be like, I don't need drugs. I'm mint. I'm already great. I don't need them.
But that's
a bit of arrogance on my part. But
someone that's never tried it is that like.
Yeah, but that's drugs in general. I don't have Lemsips. I don't have paracetamol. I don't have fucking COVID jabs or vaccines. I don't want any of it.
Right.
Because I'm just good. Do you know what I mean? And I think, I don't know. I'm not against drugs. I think if you want to take drugs and you're an adult, do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Yeah.
But I think there is. In my personal opinion, could be unpopular or popular. I think it goes hand in hand. I'm just sick of hearing about these travesties of young people. There was a guy who went missing in Hull, and there was like, share this, he's gone missing, he's gone that. I think he was just in a drug den somewhere out the city, and I'm sick of that shit. So I think get off drugs.
Yeah, that's a
get off drugs. It's clear there that there's an issue here, and then I think the other thing is because it's so acceptable. When you've got people who are struggling, as you said, drug addicts who want help, where's the first place you would look for help? Friends, family.
Yeah.
If they're also on drugs, it's very difficult for that person, because if you're 5 mates, all avid drug takers, maybe they've all got the shit in one sock, and you're coming off the rails a bit, and you're like, fucking hell lads, I need some help. Yeah, we'll get round you, right? You need to come out with us on Friday.
No.
Here's my old friend, the old Charlie's out tonight. You're back in that vicious circle, and before you know it, you hear about this guy who's come off the rails, he's gone missing, or he's done something silly. Yeah. And I'm thinking he cannot escape that environment, because it feels to me, maybe that I'm not, because I'm not on drugs. Everyone fucking does drugs now.
Yeah, I think
it's crazy.
A lot of time when I go on nights out, and again, it's not really for me just on a night out, just at the local pub. But everyone does seem to do it.
It's everywhere, and I think if you are having snags and you've got problems, how do you break that cycle when your whole fucking social circle is embedded with drugs? You can't go on a night out like, you know what, I just want to go on a night out tonight. I don't want to do any drugs, but all your mates or your family members, they're actually on drugs. So you sort of like, fucking hell, I'm up against it. It's like trying to quit smoking, but your whole house smokes, and people are offering you smoking. It's like, it's not really helping.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes we can say the individual needs to be this, that, the other, or addictive personality, or get a grip of yourself. But also external pressures. If everyone's on drugs, it's hard to be different because not everyone's as fucking nails as I am.
Yeah, if
they're not. I'm a strong character, so I can be in a beefer with 5 lads getting twisted up, and they won't insult me by offering it because they know I don't do it. So they won't insult me by saying, "Oh, do you want some of this?" Because they know I don't do it. But they can do that, and I'm not sat there thinking, "Do you know what? Peer pressure. I'm gonna get involved." Yeah. I can be completely fine. But some people might be like, "I don't really want to, but I want to fit in with everyone."
Yeah.
Back in.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things, because it's so socially acceptable. That's what I'm saying. It goes hand in hand with these Travises that we keep hearing of people who are on a slippery slope, but they can't break the cycle because their mates, some of the family members are either doing or fucking selling, and they can't get out of it.
Is that the drugs problem or the people's problem? Because I know my mates. If I went to my mates and said I had a problem, they're not my mates if that's their solution is come out of us, and then all of a sudden they got 2 beers in going, mate, just have yourself some of this. They're not my mates. No. They're not good mates anyway. I know that. So is it the people's problem or is it the?
You know what? I totally agree with, and I've said that before. If you are someone who is struggling with drugs, and the solution that your friends bring out to you is come out with me and let's get on the gear, then they need fucking off because they're terrible.
Because what at the time,
I hate it.
At the time, you are probably thinking it's a good idea or if it feels good, but it's not. That's not a way out. That is it.
You're my mate, believe it or not, right? I've got your best interests at heart. You might not always come across, but if you came to me and said you were struggling with whatever it may be, let's just say it was drugs. My solution wouldn't be to get over it. We're going to go out, we can have a few beers and some drugs, because I'm not your friend.
No.
And I think there is a lot of that goes on, and it isn't the drugs problem, because at the end of the day, the drug's not crawling up anyone's fucking nose or down the back of your throat. Someone has to take that, someone has to make that conscious decision. But what I'm saying is, because it's so socially acceptable
and accessible,
that it's hard to break that cycle. If you want change, it's kind of the in thing now. Like I said, I'm sat down, 2 random girls, look like decent girls, rocked over today, a bit on the rough side, but they looked alright. Definitely still. But they looked alright, and now out comes a house key. I've never met them. I sort of remember one of the names, and they're on the drugs.
Who was it?
I won't say. But it's very like acceptable. Like there's no shame. Not that there should be a shame in it, but I'm sort of thinking like if you did want to break the cycle or you didn't want to do drugs, it's fucking hard because everyone just seems to be doing it.
Yeah.
And I have been in places where you might be in a toilet having a piss and there's people in there doing drugs, and you see them and they say, "Oh mate, do you want some of this?" I say, "I don't even know who you are."
Yeah.
You offer me drugs, like it's hard. If you had a drug problem, you're like, "Oh fucking hell, go on then."
Why not?
I'm back in with it. So I don't know. I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong, but I think definitely over the last 10 years, it's so much more socially acceptable to take drugs, to have drugs on you, to buy drugs or source drugs. I don't know where it goes in another 10 years. Will there be any? Am I really the light in the dark? The shining figure. Do you know what I mean? Am I? Because I don't know many people now. People watching this ask the question. I'm not saying you're an avid drug taker, but do you know many people that have never taken drugs? Like literally just gone. Nah, I've never. Like
I know a few, but
I've joked about the cigs and that, but I've never actually stood there and thought, do you know what? I'm gonna try and smoke a cig.
Yeah.
I fucked about taking a piss.
I know a few, but I could. For every one person that I know that's never touched drugs, I could find you 10 that have.
I think it's getting that way where, do you reckon it just be one of them things now, everyone's on drugs?
It's a possibility.
Because I think over the past few
Scary
years...
thought that really, didn't it?
But I think it gets younger and younger. Like when I was a kid, you drank on the park, or some people did. Not me. Fucking people were drinking on the park, and that was as fucking... as ruthless as it got. Had the odd fight and a drink on the park. And now kids are into drugs, man. And I think like kids are no longer kids. They're getting they're experiencing so much more, and that's like I said. I think it goes hand in hand with And I'll say it, I couldn't give a fuck. This generation of kids horrible. Because they're just so much, they're forced into stuff more, whether it's technology, whether it's drugs, alcohol, sex, everything. It's all like hand in hand. And I think drugs, for me, again I might be wrong, plays a massive part in like the downfall of some of these wayward people, or people not quite strong enough, but want to blend in, so I'll get on drugs because my mates are doing it. Oh, do you hear about so-and-so, he's gone missing.
Here we go.
Where was he last seen? Oh, the kept then.
Yeah.
I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
Like I really am. Like I just think I don't know what's going to happen with drugs, but I think it's just getting so socially acceptable. It worries me. But again, I might be being biased because I'm not a drug taker. What do you think?
I think you wrapped it up quite well there.
Also, one of the big factors of me not taking drugs, I think it's like, and again I go back to that stigma of it being bad or dirty. The way I've been brought up, there was always, not that I was brought up in some drug den, but there was friends that did drugs. I know what drugs are, I know enough about drugs, but I've never actually taken them. One of the other big factors is like, for me, the shame. Like, I honestly think it'd be me that takes a pill,
Dr. Drop's dead.
dies. No, dies, right? They do the autopsy stuff. They say, oh, Mrs. Blake said your son was a druggie. And the shame on my mum to think that I was dead because of drugs. Like, that's one of where I think, fuck that. Like, not for me, because I actually worry that my mum would be disappointed in me that I'm dead, and the reason being is because I've had drugs.
Yeah, no, it's interesting.
If that makes sense, like there's a real, for me, I'm not trying to shame anyone, I'm not trying to shame you or anyone that takes drugs, but me personally, the thought of my mum knowing I took drugs, I don't like it.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Yeah, in the same breath, I think that if my mum was to watch this, she'd say, you know, I'm not happy with that, but if he takes, and it is like literally maybe twice a year when I go to an event, like she'd look at this and say, you know, I'm not happy with it, but he's an adult, he's a responsible adult, he's doing well for himself. Is it that much of a big deal? A big deal that twice a year is a bit, you know, maybe.
No, it's not, but it's kind of like, for me, because I'm obviously still a virgin and my mum knows that, I don't want to think I'm taking drugs and I'm dead or something.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know why it is. I do. I'm not saying you don't. I love and respect my mum. It would kill me if she knows on drugs, I guess. I think that's one of the big things why I've stayed away from it, because I've always thought, you know, fuck that, I don't want mum hearing about me taking drugs, basically. I don't know. You know. Drugs are for mugs, mugs are for tea. I like tea. Drugs are not for me. Let's go into a little segment I like to call Mully's Mini Door. So,
wait. Oh, you can cut better than that.
pathetic. Yeah, keep that in, so pathetic. Little wrist buckle. So, end of the world, fucking meteorites coming in. It's gonna wipe it all. We're gonna start again. Reset button getting hit in about an hour's time. What you doing? Got last hour on the planet.
Are you trying to survive it, do you think, or are you just gonna?
Well, is it foreskin back time, or are we gonna go underground? I don't know. Like that's what I'm saying. He's just gonna launch a load of man yogurt everywhere for the next hour, or he's gonna try to live it out.
Do you remember there's a do you remember Mount Vesuvius, was it, where all the ash came out and like froze everyone. Yeah. Apparently there's a figure found of a man like just pulling his meat about, like frozen in the ash. So obviously he had that thought where he's like.
It's interesting because I'm thinking if I've only got an hour left, I've got a shag. So I'll have 55 minutes of thinking time once I finish. That's what I'm thinking. I've got to get at least one more shag, and I'd try to get it done earlier, or maybe the last 5 minutes.
With your missus off?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Your last one with your missus?
Sweet love to her, yeah. One last time, then just blow
way.
it. Well, the thing is, it depends where am I at, because I mean, if I'm in reach of some celebrity, if I was round the corner from JLo's house, then I'd just burst through her front door, knickers off, job. But I'm thinking, You know, obviously she'd be consensual.
No, I was going to say, she's thinking,
I'm in the neighbourhood.
She's thinking I've got an hour left. Radders, that'll do.
I'm in the neighbourhood, she's seen the podcast, she knows what time it is. I'm thinking it's got to be along the lines of I want to do some sort of shagging, I think.
You're trying drugs.
Yeah, I probably would have a go on some drugs because... I probably would because fuck it, like you got an hour left. But yeah, it'd be, and I don't know, there's a few people if I was in the vicinity I'd like to have a fight with.
Yeah.
I would, I'd just like to have a fight with them.
Just
There's a few names, I never mention names, but there's a few people, they inject stuff, they do bench press, they believe that's a gum shield, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You lift big weights, it doesn't mean you're hard.
No.
I would like to just find them people, and just for old time's sake, just say I bashed you.
Yeah.
Like 1-0, boom.
Yeah.
I don't know, what about you?
Man, I think I'm trying to survive that, you know.
Yeah?
Just because if it pays off, and I'm not trying to survive it by myself, I'm picking a girl.
Right.
Someone better than my missus probably. No, I'll say it, I pick someone.
Didn't you say Dad watches these?
No, yeah. Listen, I love her. I think she's great. But if it's me and one other person, it's someone way better than my missus.
Yeah.
Way better than my missus.
Okay.
Sure, so I'm trying to survive it.
What about me and you? Would you come look for me? Would you search for me? We go on the
I'll
ground.
look after you, yeah.
You lay with me, you be a little spoon. I'll be gentle. Would you?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, fair well.
I'm picking someone, I don't know who I'm picking, but I'm trying to survive, I think. Because I think if you do survive that, that's a...
Yeah, but it's one of the ones, if you do survive, what's left? Fucking radiation, a blackout.
Yeah.
What's that?
Your kids are having 3 arms.
Yeah, octopus.
Welded together.
I think, what are you coming out to? And again, I thought...
What if you die, then what you...
How are you surviving it though?
I don't know, some sort of like underground, bloody...
Where's that?
Train station.
Oh, fucking life.
No, but I'm saying
underground
you're sat here right now.
Yeah.
It's
under the stairs.
You've got an hour.
Oh, we're not like pre-planned. We're not got like, we're heads up like, by the way.
By the government.
Yeah, by the way.
No, what I mean is you fucking hell, there's a big ball coming in, shit, hour. That's what I'm on about. It's not like, you've just seen it, like, fuck me, that's coming here. I've got an hour now. So I do maybe go to ground, because I think like a train station, like underground, somewhere like that, they must have something going on. The city hall, there must be some basement there to go in. But I think, do you want to survive?
Wait, sorry to keep jumping in, but what's a basement going to do from a meteor that's come racing in from outer space? I'll just go down 2 floors and I'll be alright.
No, maybe it'll fucking glance off your fuck nose. No, like a tube system. Like,
you're just going to find Luke with his dick in his hand, flat against the wall.
Is it over?
You've got an hour to survive. Rosie's fucked you off now because she knows that she's not good enough for you.
Yeah.
You're on your own. You're shagging Cal.
Oh man, listen. If Rosie's picking one person, she ain't picking me either.
No, it's fair.
She's not picking me. No way.
Fair.
So, and
I'm available, Rosie. If it happens, I'm 30 minutes away.
After J-Lo. After J-Lo, he's got you.
I do think though, if you do survive, what are you coming out to? That's the other one. Like, do you actually want to be alive when it's fucked, or would you just think, bastard, I should have just got incinerated with the rest of them?
Yeah, maybe.
Because I think, it's a decent way to go, just being incinerated. If you're around when... and then when we talk about, if we go into it now, repopulating the earth, if it's you and a bird, it gets awkward, because there's only so many kids you can have. And then that's it.
Yeah, but two people make 4, 4 make 8, and that's
so you're going incestual.
What?
You're going incestustual.
Well,
Adam and Eve style.
Adam and Eve style.
Yeah, if they can do it, then fucking why not? Yeah. No, that's true. But I do think that I've had that. I've always thought like if there was one guy and two women, and obviously I prat them both, and then they're having kids, you still can't go. It's still it gets incestual pretty fucking quick.
Yeah, you're.
See, I'm thinking I should have just been dead. Because now I'm holding an 8-month-old octopus and it's been sick all over me. Like, fuck this. I should have just got from underneath my stairs and got blown up with the rest of them.
Yeah, why not?
Let us know in the comments what you'd be doing if a meteorite was coming to blow the earth up. As always, I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but I'll never be taken from a mug. Just be yourself.
Oh my God.
Done. You're going to be shagging your kids. Lucky bastard.
Wait, stop the outro.
What are you doing?
Bring it back.
What are you doing?
Episode 10.
Oh, fucking hell, yeah. Prize giveaway. Yeah, no, episode 10, prize giveaway as always. I'm giving back to the fans, and this is your chance to win the Mully's Mocha starter pack.
Hi guys, it's me, Mully, and I'm giving you a chance to win this fantastic prize giveaway. The items are this Fox Ivy coffee pouring decanter thing, Obama or Obadia coffee, chocolate Leibniz biscuits, however you say it, a signed picture of me and young skinny boy, and an iconic BSN mug, maybe used once or twice. For your chance to win these fantastic prizes, all you need to do is like this post, share this post, tag one of your idiot friends in this post, leave a comment on why you think you should win this crap. Good luck, I'll announce the winner whenever I feel like it.